جميع العلوم اللي احنا كنا بنتكلم عنها كانت تملي بتأكد صدق القرآن. وفي علم من اهم العلوم اللي احنا لسه ما اتكلمناش عنها. احنا اتكلمنا عن الاسترولوجي اللي هو علم الفضاء، واتكلمنا عن جيولوجي اللي هو علم الارض، واتكلمنا عن الاحياء، ودلوقتي هنتكلم عن الفيزياء. الفيزياء the physics is that the more powerful science in the human life. What's mean؟ معناه ان الفيزياء هي اقوى حاجة واهم حاجة موجودة في الحياة البشرية. ليه؟ لان الفيزياء لا تعترف بالمقولات، ولا تعترف بالتعليلات، ولا تعترف بالنظريات، بل الفيزياء بتعترف بالحقائق والأدلة الرياضية. بل وأقوى من ذلك، الفيزياء بتعترف بكل دقيق جدا جدا جدا. طيب ايه علاقة الفيزياء وعلاقة القرآن وعلاقة الدين وعلاقة الإسلام؟ طيب physics put theory to building the universe, which mean إن الفيزياء حاطة نظرية لبناء الكون كله بتاعنا. النظرية دي بتقول the universe is created by nothing, which means it's nothing from beginning to end. يعني النظرية الفيزيائية بتقول ان الكون نشأ من لا شيء. ودلوقتي احنا عندنا تعرفين لي لا شيء. اللا شيء الطبيعي اللي هو بتاعنا احنا كبشر عاديين، اللي احنا بنقول عليه ان هو مفيش حاجة، فحاجة جت من مفيش حاجة. طيب اللا شيء الفيزيائي which meaning is nothing physics, it's mean anything less than one plank, which mean nothing but is thing in nothing, which equal less than one plank, which equal 1 0 1 0 switched 0.0001. that is nothing. يعني اللاشيء الفيزيائي بيقول ان اللاشيء هو عبارة عن حاجة اقل من طول واحد بلانك اللي هو واحد قصاده يعني زيرو علامة 1 2 3 4 5 اصفار 6 اصفار 10 اصفار 1. الواحد ده بقى اللي هو اللاشيء. طيب الواحد اللي هو اللاشيء ده في حاجة اسمها الثابت الكوني. الثابت الكوني ده اللي هو معدل سرعة الانطلاق او معدل سرعة التمدد والوقت. عمو بتاع النبي معدل سرعة التمدد والوقت اللي بيقولوا عليه اللي هو الثابت الكوني. بمعنى ان الثابت الكوني محتاج لواحد في 10 أس 500,000 علشان يتحرك ويتمدد في نفس الوقت اللي هو مضبوط جدا جدا جدا. وهنا السؤال اللي جه في بال العلماء الفيزيائيين، who that make that thing؟ هو يعني مين اللي ظبط بقى المعادلة دي؟ مين اللي حط لي المعادلة دي وظبط لي الدنيا كلها؟ طيب نشوف بقى كلامهم هم بيقولوا عن الفيزياء وعن القرآن. تمام. القرآن بيقول وكل شيء خلقناه بقدر. معناها ان اللي اوحى بالقرآن للرجل الامي الذي لا يعرف القراءة والكتابة مهندس دقيق جدا جدا وحسب كل حاجة. وعلى فكرة معظم المعلومات اللي انا لسه قايلها من شوية هي ناقصة، وانا متعمد ان انا اقولها ناقصة علشان اخليكم تسمعوا اقوال العلماء بتاعتهم. After that we will make an episode for English friends here. That was about the replies of some scientists for the Holy Quran, for the Islam. They say it's the only religion had a successful scientists challenge and always win in the scientists challenge. Which mean بمعنى ان العلماء كلهم قالوا واكدوا ان الاسلام هو الدين الوحيد اللي في الكتاب بتاعه تحديات قرآنية عظيمة ونجح فيها. تمام؟ يلا مع بعض نشوف اقوال علماء الفيزياء، اقوال علماء الفيزياء واقوال علم الفيزياء نفسه، وبعد كده هنشوف اقوال العلماء كلهم عن القرآن ايه. وبعد كده بقى هفضى للرد على الشبهات بتاع النصارى بتاع المسيحيين، وهيبقى في برضو بعض الحلقات باللغة الانجليزية، بس محتاج ان اظبط بس بعض اللغة الانجليزية عندي لان في بعض الحروف عندي بتعلق معايا في لساني. قبل ما احضر الحلقة هقول الحلقة دي، قبل ما احضر الحلقة هقول الحلقة هتبقى رايحة الموت، لان انا عندي معظم او مجموعة من الاصدقاء عندي محتاجين اللي هم بيشاهدوا، هم مش فاهمين انا بتكلم عن ايه بالعربي، فطبعا انا بعتذر لهم. I am so sorry guys. I forget to make an English videos for you. I will make, okay? But don't worry, I will make, okay? For my French friends, je suis très désolé. وبالنسبة للرجالة العرب، يلا يا ابني انت هو نروح نتفرج على الفيديو، يلا انجز بقى، عايزين نروح نتفرج على الفيديو.
Our universe seems to be defined by a set of numbers which in some sense look special. If we had different numbers, we would end up with a sterile universe. People react to this seeming coincidence in a number of ways. You could say it's the outcome of some kind of design or providence. We could say it's a brute fact we have to accept, because these numbers might be determined by some theory which we haven't yet discovered.
For a while it was possible to believe that the laws of nature were not so precisely set as to require the hand of a creator. But then a completely new fundamental property of the universe was discovered. An anti-gravity force present in space itself. It is called the cosmological constant, and when cosmologists calculated its effect on the evolution of the universe, they realized it had to be very finely tuned indeed.
The fine-tunings, how fine-tuned are they? Most of them are 1% sort of things. In other words, if a thing is 1% different, everything is bad. And a physicist could say, maybe those are just luck. On the other hand, this cosmological constant is tuned to 1 part and 10 to the 120, 120 decimal places. Nobody thinks that's accidental. That is not a reasonable idea, that something is tuned to 120 decimal places just by accident. That's the most extreme example of fine-tuning.
No force in the history of cosmology has ever been discovered to be that finely tuned. The cosmological constant needs to be set to 1 part in a trillion, 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 trillion. Otherwise the universe would be so drastically different that it would be impossible for us to evolve. That the cosmological constant arrived at such a tiny value by chance seemed to be out of the question. But the alternative explanation was also impossible to contemplate.
Physicists did not want to accept the idea that the laws of nature might be controlled by well, the benevolence of nature. There should be no reason why the luck should just have it that we can exist. It's too much, it's a stretch. It's much too far to stretch.
It seemed that hidden in the laws of nature was a value so precise that it was impossible to deny that our universe was designed. But a designed universe requires the existence of a designer, a notion that even the anthropic scientists did not want to entertain. It seemed that hidden in the laws of nature was a value so precise that it was impossible to deny that our universe was designed. But a designed universe requires the existence of a designer. The scientists were between a rock and a hard place. Their own discoveries were pointing them towards an intelligent designer.
This is its dislike of mixing religion into physics. I think they were somewhat afraid that if it was admitted that the reason the world is the way it is has to do with our own existence, that could be hijacked by the creationists, by the intelligent designers.
There are physicists who will tell you that if you take about half a dozen physical constants, these are constants that physicists have no explanation for, they just accept that these numbers have the values that they do, and they then do theoretical calculations using their models to say if any one of these half dozen constants was ever so slightly varied, then the universe as we know it would not be possible. For example, if the gravitational constant was a little bit different, there would be no stars, there would be no galaxies, the entire universe would just be a uniform splurge of hydrogen, for example. You wouldn't have stars, you wouldn't have chemistry, you wouldn't have the formation of the heavier elements, you couldn't have life. And they do the same trick for half a dozen other physical constants. A good example is Martin Rees, the present Astronomer Royal, in his book Just Six Numbers. If the constants of the universe are indeed fine-tuned, how do we explain it? How do we explain the appearance that the universe is tuned to bring us into existence? Well, theists say God did it. God twiddled the knobs and tuned the physical constants to have exactly the right values. That, of course, is no explanation at all because it leaves unexplained the tuner. It's just pushing the problem back one step. So we can instantly discount explanation number one. Explanation number two is adopted by physicists, I think Steven Weinberg, who was quoted earlier in this conference. Steven Weinberg, Nobel Prize-winning physicist from Texas, I think his view is that we don't yet understand enough physics, and when we do, when we have the longed-for theory of everything, the TOE, we will then realize that these knobs are not for tuning. There is no freedom. There are no degrees of freedom. There's only one way for a universe to be. Having accepted the word of physicists that there is an element of fine-tuning, and I've tried to lay out three possible explanations. One would be God, which, as I've said, isn't an explanation at all. One would be the multiverse, and then anthropically, with hindsight, saying we have to be sitting in one of the universes that could give us. But the third one, which I've attributed to you, possibly wrongly, would be what I call the macho physicists, who say, well, it's just that we don't understand why these things that are the way they are. One day we will, when we have a theory of everything, it will be understood. But it sounds from our conversation as though that I misrepresented you there.
I don't think one should underestimate the fix we're in, that in the end we will not be able to explain the world, that we will have some set of laws of nature. We will not be able to derive them on the grounds simply of mathematical consistency, because we can already think of mathematically consistent laws that don't describe the world as we know it. And we will always be left with a question, why are the laws of nature what they are rather than some other laws? And I don't see any way out of that. The fact that the constants of nature are suitable for life, which is clearly true, we observe.
The final idea, which I think probably most physicists at least have some time for, is the multiverse theory.
No one has constructed a theory in which that's true. I mean, it's not only a speculation. The theory would be speculative, but we don't have a theory in which that speculation is mathematically realized.
Right, yeah.
So, but it's a possibility.
And the fact that the cancellation is so precise means that the number of universes in the multiverse you need to postulate in order to anthropically be comfortable with it is very, very large.
And it must be at least 10 to the 56, or in fact,
exactly,
if you think you have some idea about fluctuations at even shorter distances, I think you would say at least 10 to the 120. In fact, that's a little disturbing.
رجعنا تاني بعد ما اتفرجنا على الفيديو. طيب احنا اتفرجنا على الفيديو وشفنا آراء العلماء وشفنا أقوال العلم الفيزياء في ايه اللي بيأكد ان الإسلام دين صحيح 100%. تمام. طيب دلوقتي الحلقة الجاية هتبقى عن أقوال العلماء، وهي هتبقى حلقة باللغة الإنجليزية كاملة، لأن احنا طبعا كعرب أو كمسلمين الحمد لله وكغير مسلمين، أنا متعمد إن أنا كنت أحط الحلقات باللغة العربية علشان الناس تقرأ وتفهم بس الموضوع ماشي ازاي. طيب دلوقتي أقوال العلماء أنا ليه متعمد إن أنا هي تبقى باللغة الإنجليزية إن شاء الله؟ لأن أنا متعمد أو كمسلمين كلنا متعمد إن احنا نلعب على تركة أو حتة العلم عندهم عند غير المسلمين الأوروبيين، لأن هم ليهم حق إن هم يتعرفوا على الدين الإسلامي زي ما احنا لينا حق برضو إن احنا ننقد جميع الأديان ونثبت كذبها وتحريفها. أما بالنسبة بقى بعد الحلقة اللي هي هتبقى عن أقوال العلماء باللغة الإنجليزية، هتبقى في حلقة عربي عن الرد على الشبهات، وفي حلقة بالإنجليزي تعريفا بالإسلام. وأتمنى منكم إن انتوا تدعموني بلايك وسبسكرايب وشير، لأن الفترة الجاية أنا داخل على منعطف تاريخي، وربنا يقوينا كلنا. ومتنسوش تدعموا بلايك وسبسكرايب وشير وتوصلوا الفيديو ده اي حاجه، بس يلا المهم ان انتوا تدعمونا بلايك وسبسكرايب وشير. والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.